See, this is classic, like Wyatt does good things and Wyatt does bad things, and it's highlighted the bad things that I do. That's why I'm in this position. Also because I dropped out of high school and love to smoke weed. And that makes you lose motivation.
When's the first time, how old were you when you started smoking weed?
I was in 7th grade when I took my first hit off Mary Jane's sweet, sweet, suckly tit.
And you never looked back?
No, I didn't. I look back a lot of times. I take breaks, all right? I know moderation.
When did you start smoking cigarettes?
I was younger. I was like in 5th or 6th grade. Like 10 or 11.
So here you are, 17, homeless, you don't have a drop out.
You and me disintegrating violently. Stick your tongue out. Catch the pieces as they drift down the air. I am too slow to catch them all. Not too far gone to care.
So, what do you? So you're just gonna follow me around and film?
Well, I just think you're an interesting guy. I just wanna
document.
I just wanna follow you around. Just take a little video. You can just act like I'm not even here.
I do that when you're around.
Thanks. We'll see then. You know, we're already set up for success.
All right.
It's not. It doesn't have to all be interesting. It just has to be honest. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like?
Okay. Well, my name is Wyatt Tootle. I'm 17. I am a victim of the system, I'd like to say. I got arrested for possession of marijuana. I am a dropout. I like to write. I like to do, you know, I like theater. I like the arts. I have 3 older sisters. I'm the only boy that was raised in my house, the youngest. And my dad was not around as much. So I was around, you know, the only guy in the family, and I have a Mustang. I like to rap. And I love girls. I love women. I like cigarettes and marijuana. But it's bad for you, both those things. Not good.
Why don't you talk about where you're living right now?
In my car, kind of. Well, see, my mom, she got mad because she didn't get to take prom pictures of me and my girlfriend. And so she like kicked me out, and now I'm living in this Mustang of mine at the moment. But you know, it's good for inspiration. Good to be at the very bottom, you know, that way you can work yourself back up to the top. That's the way I look at it. That's how I sleep at night.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
On SNL.
So living in New York, successful.
Yes.
Really? Do you?
Yeah.
Like
on SNL. Yeah.
Are
So
you on the track to do that?
What is the track to get on SNL?
Well, one thing would be.
Is there a school for that?
You're not living in your car. You've got graduate. You learn to.
You know Jim Carrey?
You get along with people that you don't always can get along with.
Me and Lorne Michaels, we get along fine. And by the way, Jim Carrey's family lived in their van for a while.
But you're not in a family. You're by yourself, 17, living in your car.
Your point?
exactly what she just said was her point.
Okay, well, I don't, you know, listen, a lot of people are going to tell me that I'm making wrong decisions, but when I get where I need to be, everyone's going to be like, well, I guess we were wrong.
A big thing that motivates you is the thought of one day proving people wrong.
Yes, because ever since I was little, there's this thing called the Savannah Children's Theater, and ever since I was little, all the moms there thought I was such a little shit, and we're all like, oh, Wyatt's the kind of kid that can't work backstage because he's too loud, and we don't want our kids hanging out with him, and oh, he comes from such a dysfunctional family. But little things like this, little like creative outlets that me and Kason have, you know?
That's not gonna get you anywhere.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, it will.
Well,
Not with that kind of attitude, but with this.
I was in heaven, I was in hell.
I want to talk about, so you got those prom pictures.
Yeah, prom was fun. I got drunk as hell.
Are you gonna show those prom pictures to your mom, or is that gonna make a difference for her?
No, not at all. I'll bring him to her. That's what she got pissed off at in the first place. I'm gonna bring him to her, and like leave him in her mailbox or something, but I'm not gonna give him to her. She's too pissy.
So,
I got a job today.
yeah, tell us about that. So, yesterday when we talked to you, you didn't have a job.
No.
And then this morning you called me and told me you did have a job. Tell us about that.
I got one. Okay, so I woke up this morning, and I was like, I'm gonna get a job. So I drove around, and I went to this place called, like this pizza place, and they told me that they're hiring at their other, like, they have like 2 stores in Savannah, and they're hiring at their other store. So the woman there was like, go and ask for my husband Mark. He works at the other place. So I went there and I met this fuck, and he mumbles so much, like so much. He was talking to me like a bunch of shit that doesn't matter, and then I delivered some pizzas.
A bunch of shit that doesn't matter. So basically, this documentary.
Yeah.
What are you saving your money for?
I'm gonna try to find a place to live.
And what are you gonna do in the meantime?
Same thing I've been doing. Just like, you know, getting by.
And you went to see your girlfriend tonight.
Mm-hmm.
How is she?
She's good. She's worried about me. She thinks that. She always asks me what I want to eat, and I fucking hate that because I get so hungry, and her mom makes the best fucking food ever, but I don't want to eat up her fridge, you know, so I tell her I'm not hungry.
You've lost a lot of weight in the last month or so.
So much.
Why is that?
I've not been doing any coke.
I didn't say that.
I know. I'm just saying I haven't been. And I know that's like, what is that?
You're the one who brought up Coke. I didn't say anything about Coke.
I've not been doing any coca.
Not even a little bit?
Not even a tad bit, dude. I've just been...
So why have you lost so much weight?
I just haven't been eating as much, honestly.
Why is that?
Because I don't have a mom that cooks for me, and I don't have much money. I don't know why, but I believe in God, you know, and like I prayed, and He gave me a job, you know, and like I prayed last night that I'd find a job today. I was like, I really need a fucking job, man, so help me out. And like, just because I believe in God doesn't mean that I'm a Bible thumper, and like, that's very obvious. Like, I don't fucking read the Bible, and I'm confused about like Jesus. I think that He was really cool, and He had like a lot of good morals. I think that for some reason, I think that I'm doing the right thing. I think that I'm doing the right thing by working a fucking job and just writing and being in my head all the time, because being in my head is exactly where I need to be.
So, we're not on a road to reconciliation with your mom at this point, though.
No, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. I wish it would, and I want it to because I love my mom. You know, even though she is a raging Cajun bitch from hell, I like still love my mom. You know, she's my mom, and you know, like not having her around for a long time made me realize that how much like, you know, having a mom like really does help, and like how much, like I see my girlfriend sometimes like mouth off to her mom, and I'm just like, why the fuck are you doing that? Your mom's a badass. Like your mom helps you out so much, you know. Like every guy wants to have kids one day. I don't, and that's something weird and different about me, and I feel like that is because of my mom and my dad too. I mean, I put a lot of blame on my mom, and it's because that she was the one there. My dad was absent, so, and he was like the weekend dad, you know, the one that would like come with presents and shit. So I would like not look at him as an issue. I would look at, because all that I saw of my dad was this guy that would bring me fucking Batman toys on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was the one making me wake up and go to school every day and shit like that. But she's still fucked up. Like, you know, she was there, but until I was 15. And then someone else came along.
So living with your dad is not an option.
No. He's got a wife that doesn't like me.
Where does he live?
He lives 6 hours away in Rabun County, and you know what's ironic is that he works with troubled teens. He works with troubled teens. That's his fucking job. He gets paid and lives in a big 2-story cabin with 2 dogs that he calls his children, which is weird. You don't do that. You don't call your dogs kids. They're animals. They don't know how to talk. There's this big mega show called Bleach, and it has one cool thing in it, and it's like that people wear masks, and like your mask is like the real part of you, kind of. That's what I think it is. It's the real part of you. It's like the part of you that's like jealous and like greedy and like wants to kill people, you know, and like just has like nothing matters to you except yourself when you have your mask on.
So, how much of you is a mask and how much of you is you?
Everybody. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know.
How much of the Wyatt that we know is a mask and how much of the Wyatt is Wyatt?
I don't know. That's what's weird too about me sometimes, is like, I don't know.
His father was a drinker.
So how long have you known Wyatt for?
I've known Wyatt, I don't know, probably like 6 years now.
When's the last time you saw Wyatt and spoke with him?
Last time I physically saw Wyatt was about a month ago. I stopped by at the theater, and I guess he was charging his phone to go to the bathroom. I remember talking to him about he was like the captain of the football team at his high school. He was really excited. He was going up to like Athens to play football. So it's really cool. We even played football in the park a few times. He was such a good actor. It's like the Rat. I remember that specifically.
Personality. You guys were all hanging out together. I remember seeing a lot of laughing.
Right. He was funny. And he certainly didn't care, but it worked because he people were always laughing at him on stage. Yeah. But I think it's sad that he's at a place where his life warrants a documentary.
What do you think the future holds for Wyatt? It's a big question, but
Yeah, it's a hard question. In his current state, not a lot. He's not going many places. Yeah. I know he has dreams, but I think that there's other things that are he's not gonna achieve his dreams because of it.
Underneath the sweet gum tree and the love we once nurtured, you and me, disintegrating violently. Stick your tongue out. Catch the pieces as they drift down the air. I am too slow to catch them all, not too far gone to care.